4.6 billion years ago, a unique planet suitable for the existence of life was formed. 4.2 billion years ago, in the vast ocean, the earliest forms of simple life evolved. 4 billion years ago, the two oldest Hadean zircons in Asia formed in Baishanzu, witnessing the ever-changing history of this continent. The towering Donggong Mountain range intercepts warm and humid air currents from the Pacific Ocean, where immense water vapor precipitates onto the surface. The flow of water shapes the land, creating peaks, canyons, waterfalls, and wetlands. Will develop this place into the most typical subtropical forest ecosystem at 28 degrees north latitude. Four 416 kinds of wild vertebrates, 2,102 kinds of vascular bundle plants, 632 kinds of large fungi. Taking this as a home, jointly constructed the original Oriental secret place. Today, amidst the ever-changing seasons of Baishanzu, we will embark on an exploratory journey. In summer, as the temperature rises, the highest temperature in Baishanzu reaches 30 degrees Celsius. Most of the animals in the forest tend to avoid activities during high temperatures. However, in the damp and concealed shrubs, a heat-loving animal begins to become active. The Chinese pangolin, an ancient animal adorned in armor and skilled in digging and burrowing, has been living on Earth for 80 million years. The pangolin is a burrowing animal, but for a creature with sharp claws, climbing trees is not a difficult task. Especially when the tree might hold its target, ants. Some say it is the guardian of the forest, as it can consume about 7 million termites and ants each year. A single pangolin can protect an area of approximately 23 hectares of forest from termite infestation. Unfortunately, this tree holds no discovery, so it must shift its focus elsewhere. The pangolin has a unique method to descend from the tree avoiding the falling from great height and getting injured. However, its thick armor consumes a tremendous amount of energy, so it needs to rest and replenish its strength. Sleep not only restores consumed energy, but also provides an opportunity for sunbathing, as ultraviolet rays serve as a disinfection method. The midday nap has to end in scorching heat. But to avoid heat stroke, the pangolin staggers and heads towards the next destination. A stream of water allows for a rapid decrease in body temperature. Climbing trees, swimming. How many hidden skills does this pangolin possess? We cannot say for sure. As the sun sets, the pangolin begins its most important task. A pangolin will have hundreds of caves at the same time. One for summer, one for winter, and one for foraging when traveling. When pig badgers and mountain mice occupy it, they dig another one. When they can't remember where their hole is, they can easily dig a new one. Sharp and sturdy claws make the pangolin a top performer in the digging world. It moves at an average speed of 1.5 meters per hour. As night falls, the sound of digging intermittently emerges from underground. This seems to be more than just a temporary burrow. For this male Chinese pangolin, the long day is not yet over. It will be a sleepless night, busy with its tasks. In the mountain ravine, the chorus of frogs resounds. Different frog calls, like different languages, cannot communicate with each other. However, it is precisely the diversity of frog calls that allowed a new species to traverse the long, dark night and meet humans, the Baishanzu horned toad. The Baishanzu horned toad is a species of the Magophyridae family found near high-altitude mountain streams and ravines. Currently, it has only been discovered in Baishanzu, under the evergreen broadleaf forest at an elevation of 1,400 to 1,600 meters. On each of his islets, there is a word, which is a characteristic of the Megaphrydae family. The Baishanzu horned toad has a smaller body compared to other horned toads. Between its eyes, there is a set of inverted triangular brown markings, and its back displays a unique X-shaped pattern. Its camouflage, resembling withered leaves, allows it to hide effectively. The cold temperatures and undisturbed ecology of high-altitude regions, along with the pure and clear water sources, have given rise to this remarkable species. In recent years, with a changing ecosystem, more and more new species have been discovered in Baishanzu. The species gene pool in Baishanzu is becoming more and more diverse and abundant. Without sunlight, leaves, or chlorophyll, ordinary plants are unable to undergo photosynthesis. However, the Zhejiang ghost pipe has found its own way of survival evolution. The Zhejiang ghost pipe has evolved into a saprophytic plant. Its roots have adapted to mimic fungi, absorbing nutrients from decaying leaves or decomposing plants. By imitating the survival strategies of other species, the ghostly Zhejiang ghost pipe has found its place in Baishanzu. During the transition from summer to autumn, mushrooms also enter their most vigorous growth season. Their unique hydrothermal conditions, diverse vegetation, and soil types have nurtured abundant resources of large-sized fungi. So far, 632 named species have been confirmed, with over 300 of them being edible or medicinal. Baishanzu is an important distribution area for wild, large-sized fungal genetic resources in China, and has been recognized by the United Nations as a globally significant agricultural cultural heritage site. Baishanzu, like a vast water system forest, hides the source of the Ojiang River, Mingjiang River, and Qiantang River, with thousands of small and large streams. In the streams, one can often see the figures of various water dragons. With the arrival of autumn, they also sense the changing of seasons. Rough skin, covered with warts on the back, prominent orange ridges. The orange spine-bodied newt, an amphibian of the family Salamandridae, lives near the streams in the mountains. They usually prefer to hide in the dark and become active only in the evening. this cricket has been targeted. It's time to prepare for the food scarcity of winter. Its naturally short tongue prevents it from hunting insects from a distance like lizards, where it can wait for them and catch prey. It needs to continuously track, quietly lurk, and only when the prey is close enough, swiftly extend its tongue, sticking to the prey tightly. The cricket tried to escape. The newt vigorously shook his head, performing a death row similar to that of a crocodile, until the cricket stopped struggling. It cannot chew and usually swallows its prey whole. For the slow-moving, the orange-spine woody newt, it is not often able to capture such prey. However, fortunately, it does not expend much energy, and one cricket can sustain it for several weeks. As amphibians, the Chinese giant salamanders play the role of apex predators in freshwater ecosystems with few natural enemies. An adult Chinese giant salamander can grow to be 1 to 2 meters long, making it the largest living amphibian in the world. Despite their massive size, Chinese giant salamanders are not very active, but surface periodically to breathe. Along with inhaling air, they produce a distinctive sound. This male giant salamander is searching for a cave. However, not all caves will satisfy its requirements, because it intends to stay there for an extended period without leaving. This cave has shallow depth and poor concealment. That one lacks flowing water and has low oxygen levels. The bottom of another cave is uneven, could potentially damage fertilized eggs. But this cave has everything: proper water flow, oxygen levels, and a sandy bottom. Everything is just right, perfect. Now it just needs a mate. Finally, a female giant salamander appears. The male giant salamander initiates an attack and follows the female, crawling in the stream. The female giant salamander enters the cave. They lie flat inside the cave, remaining still and patiently waiting for the right time. Once the female giant salamander lays eggs, the male will drive her out of the cave because she might eat the eggs. The male giant salamander now has the sole responsibility to incubate the eggs. The eggs of the Chinese giant salamander have a diameter of about 1 centimeter. They are wrapped in a transparent gelatinous layer and are strung together like beads, forming strands that can reach several meters in length. During the incubation period of about 30 days, the male Chinese giant salamander carries the eggs wrapped around his body. It has a significant responsibility, not only to prevent the other Chinese giant salamanders occupying the cave and damaging the egg clusters, but also to constantly protect the unhatched eggs from being washed away by the water flow. During this time, the male giant salamander hardly eats, except for the prey that comes within reach. Although their vision is poor, Chinese giant salamanders can sense vibrations in the water through the warts on their skin, allowing them to capture prey in the water. As the temperature drops, the turbulent stream dissolves a large amount of oxygen, which is advantageous for the development of the eggs. However, the father still needs to rotate the egg clusters every 4 to 5 minutes to ensure that each egg receives sufficient oxygen. Under the careful care of the father, the embryos in the egg clusters begin to develop. After 15 days, the egg clusters become increasingly transparent and gradually expand to 2 to 3 centimeters. Babies start to resemble their parents. They twist their bodies within the egg clusters, exercising their strength, attempting to break through the egg membrane. Freedom. The newly hatched salamander larvae have a body length of about 3 centimeters, which is only 1/50th of the length of adult salamanders. Unlike adult Chinese giant salamanders, the larvae have 3 pairs of feathery external gills. These gills start to shrink and degenerate after 8 months. Before the larvae develop their limbs, they will still live alongside their father for a period. Although the stream may appear clear and calm, it is actually full of hidden dangers. The Chinese big-headed turtle, one of the fiercest freshwater turtles in China, preys on various small fish, tadpoles, creek crabs, and amphibians. Unlike other turtles' passive defense mechanisms, the Chinese big-headed turtle does not miss any hunting opportunities. Once it detects its target, it will actively launch an attack. Using its sharp claws and hawk-like upper and lower jaws, which are effective tools for tearing apart its prey, In September, this water system forest attracts tens of thousands of migratory birds. The oriental stork, a large wading bird, has a long and sturdy bill, predominantly pure white feathers, and long reddish slacks. Every year during the migration season, they pass by Baishanzu and stay for a while. The abundant fish in the rivers for the upcoming long-distance journey. It is a sufficient source of energy. The black-faced spoonbill, named for its spoon-shaped beak, also stays here for the feast. After restoring their strength, they will fly south to the coast for winter. The white crane, a rare visitor with a global population of fewer than 4,000, has finished resting and is about to leave, continuing its journey. Over 100 million years ago, during an even earlier ice age, this land was covered in fir trees. After the ice age, as temperatures rose, the fir trees retreated to higher latitudes and elevations, where cooler conditions prevailed. Therefore, on the high-altitude mountains of Baishanzu, fir trees formed distribution resembling isolated islands. On the southern slope of Baishanzu, in a small sheltered valley, at an altitude of around 1,700 meters, only 3 wild Baishan fir trees remain. They are among the 12 most endangered plant species globally. And for studying plant distribution, evolution, and climate change, they are of significant scientific value. For the Baishanzu fir trees, extreme cold is not fearsome. However, this time, a hidden crisis lurks within the cold and dampness. The thick snow freezes on the branches before it can slide off, and the significant temperature difference causes the moisture in the air to quickly freeze into heavy icicles on the branches. Eventually, one Baishanzu fir tree becomes overwhelmed by the weight. Human intervention comes into play. With human assistance, the fallen Baishanzu fir tree stands tall once again. The winter at Baishanzu is short, and finally, spring arrives. The parasitic orchids emit a fragrant scent, and the Taiwanese garlic orchids on the cliffs quietly bloom. All the plants strive to bloom and undergo pollination, producing a large number of seeds to pass on their genes in nature. Budding leaves signifying that this Baishanzu fir tree has survived. It also enters its flowering season. The Baishanzu fir tree is monoecious, with the cones as the female flowers growing above the branches. while the male flowers are yellow-brown and cluster-shaped, growing below the branches. On average, it takes 5 to 6 years for the Baishanzu fir tree to flower and bear fruit. Being wind-pollinated, the wind blows the pollen from the male flowers to the female ones, initiating new life. Under the mother tree of the Baishanzu fir tree, young seedlings are also striving to grow. Among all primates, macaques may be the most adaptable to environment. Before winter arrives, under the leadership of the alpha male, the macaque family moves to lower altitudes. This river valley provides relatively warm climate and more opportunities to find food. Conflict occasionally erupts among the monkeys while competing for food. The smaller monkeys in the group can only endure hunger because of inability to obtain food. And compared to the bitter tree bark and lichens, they can be considered a delicacy. However, the alpha male knows this food is far from enough to sustain the entire troop. The weakened macaque family endure the entire harsh winter, desperately needs to find more food to replenish their nutrition. The alpha male turns his attention to the bamboo on the other side. Maybe there is a chance. The bamboo shoots have just emerged from the ground. Peering from a distance, then slowly approaching. There is no danger. They decisively strike. Venturing out to find new food sources for the troop is the alpha male's responsibility. This is a good food. The alpha male signals. On the other side of the river, members of the hungry family have long been waiting. When they hear the alpha male's call, they eagerly rush over, imitating the alpha male and skillfully leaping across the turbulent stream. This is a challenge for the young monkey, but the allure of food demands bravery. It succeeds. After a satisfying feast of bamboo shoots, they begin to enjoy the harmonious moments of spring. Like macaques, the silver pheasant also lead a communal life. Adult male silver pheasant can grow over 1 meter long, making them gigantic creatures among birds. They have fiery red cheeks, sharp claws, and their pristine white feathers are adorned with V-shaped patterns. In contrast, female otas are much more low-key. They are only half the size of males and have inconspicuous brownish feathers. During the springtime, the appearance of male otas undergoes a change. Its bare red cheeks swollen with congestion. The colors more vibrant, the crest high. This male white pheasant is in the mating season. The morning forests shrouded in drizzle and dense fog. The female white pheasant perched high on a branch, anticipating the suitor's performance. The male white pheasant stretches his body upwards. His crest rises, cheeks flushed, wings fluttering. Vibrant colors, beautiful feathers, frequent movements, all serving as proof to the female bird that it is strong and would make a good mate. The female bird seems entranced. She's captivated. Surely, it won't be long before their offspring will be born, becoming the new residents of Baishanzu. The sexual dimorphism characteristic is common among birds. The male caboose tragopon has a black and red mixed crest on his head, adorned in chestnut brown feathers, with pale yellow spots along the edges. The male Elias pheasant has bright red eye patches with black and white stripes. These patterns complement his long tail. The female is adorned with brown feathers, marked with chestnut and black spots. Particularly during the mating season, the male pheasant goes to great lengths to showcase his charm. Even the egrets begin to transform, growing their breeding plumage. Two long, slender feathers sprout from their heads, and a circle of feathery ruffs appear on their chests and backs. Once they find a desired mate, they shake their feathers and display themselves. The interested party responds by shaking its feathers in return. Soon, the pair of egrets will have their own offspring. But for now, they have a crucial task at hand: nest building. One is responsible for material gathering, while the other builds and constructs. They work in perfect harmony. With a tight deadline, they sometimes resort to unconventional methods. Dismantling a neighbor's home and stealing building materials to construct their own nest. Finally, the nest is completed, and they are ready to welcome new life. Baishanzu, at this moment, serve as a nursery, with birds busy nurturing the second generation. The black-shouldered kite builds its nest on the branches at the top of the tree. The oriental sculpt owl and the hoopoe make sure of natural tree cavities, sparing themselves the trouble of nest building. The great-faced buzzard ensures every chick is well-fed. The black bazi tirelessly hunts to feed his young. The Chinese goshawk tears food into small pieces and feeds it directly to the chicks. The Chinese paradise flycatcher removes the nestling's waste. The nestling of the neighbor, the Asian barred owlet, is shedding its down feathers and eager to leave the nest. The little night heron has already begun to attempt flying, while the pair of egrets are still busy incubating their eggs. After 25 days, the little ones of egret couple finally hatch from their shells. Their open beaks clamor for food, urging the egret parents to take turns going out to hunt. Even in the abundant food supply of Bai Shai Zu, the pressure to raise offspring is not insignificant. Regurgitation is how the egret parents package food for their babies. The recently hatched chicks are not capable of swallowing whole small fish, so the adult birds swallow the food into their crop. After a period of digestion, they regurgitate it to feed the nestlings. As the nestlings grow day by day, they gradually develop the ability to swallow whole fish. Around 30 days after hatching, their feathers become fuller. They spread their wings, eager to try and start practicing flying. The staff of Baishanzu started off on its mission. From the monitoring station to the core area, he has to walk for more than 2 hours. Along the way, he cannot see anyone else except animals. On this trip, he have to put on the eye of Baishanzu. Tufted deer, Chinese arrow, ocelot. The harvest is quite good. Recent years, more and more new species have been identified. This is due to the efforts of the people who work for Baishanzu. The Baishanzu generously welcomes birds from all directions, providing a home not only for them, but also for the humans who live here. The undulating mountains, terraced fields, layer upon layer, villages with blue brick roofs, and bridges that harmonize with the landscape. Entering Baishanzu is like stepping into vast, profound, and a peaceful scenery. People dig the soil in the mountains, mold and glaze clay, and fire it in intense heat to create natural colors. They collect ores from the streams, smelt and forge them, into sharp knives and swords. On the third day of the third lunar month, deep within the mountains, the She ethnic group celebrates their ancient tradition by picking leaves from the Wu-Ren tree. They use these leaves obtained from the mountains, along with high-quality glutinous rice grown on this land, to make a traditional festive dish called Wu-Fan, a must-have for the She people on the third day of the third month. Humans express gratitude for nature's blessings through abundant food and sacred ceremonies. And from this day onwards, all things enthusiastically embark on a new cycle of seasons.